Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. This is your host, where we obviously talk about sports with comedians. Let me first bring in, Howie Bell's not in today. Let me bring in my man Mo Smith. How you doing, Mo? How you
What's
doing?
going on? What's going on, man?
What happened to the New York Giants? What happened to the?
Oh, I got it. I just was hanging out doing some work with the green screen, so I just set up over here.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought it was because you was mad at the Giants, you know. So, but
No, I ain't
I
never
won't,
met at my Giants.
I won't go there. My man Jason Hayes in the building. Jay, how you doing, sir?
Hey, what up, fellas?
What up, Jay?
I like that
Um,
way better, Mo.
yeah, I do too. I do too, because I ain't
Hmm.
gonna say nothing about your Giants, Mo. I ain't got not a thing, not a thing, not a thing, not a thing. So, before we jump into the show, man, and I keep doing this, and I hate to keep doing this, but I'm gonna have to do this because people keep hitting me up asking me, are we gonna talk about certain things? Mo, I'm gonna have you go first, and then I'm gonna ask Jason, and then I'm gonna dive in. What are your thoughts on the Lakers getting bounced last night, and talk to me about how you're feeling about the Lakers' future with LeBron James and just this whole thing, how it looks.
You know, we I knew the Lakers weren't built for a long run in the playoffs. You know, so they look good. They have flashes of what they might be able to be. You know, they don't have no presence in the middle, so it's just a layup line all day
Mhm.
long on the Lakers. Palinka said that too early in the season. This team is not championship ready. He knew he's still rebuilding and getting it fixed. The first key was getting Luca there. Um, LeBron with the Lakers, man, I don't know. You know, these days, I don't know what's gonna happen with that dude. I think they say he got until June 29th to either
Mhm.
opt in or opt out of his contract. And his contract is it's an exuberant number, man. The Lakers got a lot to play with. Let's see what they're gonna do in the off seasons. Right now, they on the clock.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. I like the way you look at it. But I guess Jason, I guess I'm circling around this, Jason. They made that huge trade with Luca. You know what I mean? That set everything off. People were really upset with the GM over at Dallas. Now he's starting to look like he was a genius because we've been on this show. We've been saying Luca is nothing but a turnstile. I've been saying it for a year. Like that, the Celtics exposed him. And Dallas was in line to pay him $325 million, $350 million. That's what they were at. Now I don't even think he's worth half that. You know what I mean? Be honest with you.
Mhm.
But the Lakers losing the playoffs. What's your thought process, Jay, on the Lakers losing in the playoffs now and Luka being exposed for the second year in a row?
I mean, it's pretty much what basketball people, is paying attention to. But listen, I mean, it's always two parts to all of it. There's a basketball side and there's a business side.
Right,
Luka's gonna sell tickets in LA. For
right.
whatever reason, he's gonna sell tickets, much like how no matter what's happening with the Knicks, Madison Square Garden sells out. So
Right.
as long as they're making money, which is the ultimate goal, I think they're going to make the money decision. But you're not going to win a championship with Luka Doncic, as somebody that you are relying upon to have to play defense and get stops and be a consistent shooter and all those things. He's not that. So I'm going to agree. I like the trade when they made it for Dallas. Everybody's saying, "Oh my God, how you look away?" I was like, Dallas won in that trade. They got to do when healthy, a two-way player, dominant, can score it, can shut down, the lane guard, switch off guard all five positions. Luka can't guard anybody, and that's what
Mhm.
Boston showed last year. I think Nico saw it. Nico knew
Yeah.
Luka was going to ask for a super max deal, and he knew he couldn't pay a super max deal to a player who's one an inconsistent shooter,
Mhm.
hurt all the time because he doesn't take care of his body the way that he should, and he can't guard anybody.
Mhm.
So I don't know how they fix it, but they got to get some bodies in there, man. One, they got to get defensive people in there, and they got to get bigger. Rudy Gobert going 27 and 24, bro. That's
Mhm.
inexcusable.
Especially because it's Rudy. But
It's
that's a whole
Rudy
nother
Gobert.
conversation. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because it's Rudy. Before I jump into, I'm gonna ask this one last question. Mo, I'm gonna start with you with one last question. If you're the Lakers, do you make sure LeBron retires? You know what I mean, and try to build from there, or if LeBron comes back, do you use him for a trade piece? Because I'm thinking of things on how the Lakers can try to improve because they're kind of stuck. I think you know what I mean. I don't even know what the Lakers do. I think they kind of stuck. So
I don't know if LeBron is a valuable trade piece for the Lakers right now. Like who's going to take that on in the league? I mean, his contract. Like I said, if he opts in, and as far as retiring, I mean, you can't force him to retire.
If he's opting in, word is he's gonna take less money like he did before. You know what I mean? So
Right.
But again, I think a team would probably be interested in wanting to take him just to make sure they sell tickets. You know, like you know what I mean? And let's be honest, if LeBron to me makes sense if he goes to a team that needs a veteran, like a young team that needs a veteran. You know what I mean? I could see that happening. You know what I mean? And a team
I don't see LeBron wanting to do that. You know what I'm saying? To waste the last good, let's say 2 years. You say he got a good 2 years, even 3 left. I don't think he want to waste that in a New Orleans or Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Because these are teams that can use somebody like him, or even a Denver. Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if he's gonna do that. That's what I'm looking at with LeBron, because he's a savvy businessman. He ain't gonna just go anywhere.
Yeah, but I think he wants to win. And people like Houston, they have trade chips to set it off at. And Houston is that one veteran away. And if you send him to a team like Houston, now you're talking, because LeBron would love to go to Houston right now because he could definitely turn that team around and win. You know what I mean?
If he can go somewhere like a Houston, Orlando, I can see him in Orlando with them, running around with them young boys. Houston, yeah, I can see that also. Or maybe Milwaukee pull a rabbit out their hat and get LeBron there so they can keep Giannis.
And let me just say this last one before I even ask Jason the same question. Swan song in Cleveland. Cleveland is that one veteran, Cleveland got a boat. They if they don't have to give up nobody. I don't know, Jay. What you think? You're a LeBron James fan up here.
So if history shows us anything, the one thing LeBron, Ramon James doesn't do is give discounts.
Mm-hmm.
He's never going to take less money, and nor should he, because he knows that no matter where he goes, they're going to market him. They're going to have him in front of everything, and they're going to use his name, image, and likeness to make money. He's going to make sure that he gets his maximum cut, as any good businessman should do. Secondly, he's not going to go any place where they're not used to winning. Who has the most NBA championships all time, Frank?
That's right. The Celtics.
Boston. Who has the second most NBA championships all time? Where he's at right now. He's not going to any place that hasn't done it and are not committed to winning.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to win, he got to go where they're committed to doing that. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to go to no damn Houston, bro. I mean, he's not going to sign off on that. They don't win. I mean, they got 2, but they're not committed as an organization to being a winning organization. So he's not going any place like that.
I don't agree with that.
The issue is that it looks bad, What's that, Mo?
I'm saying I don't agree with that. The Houston's not committed. They out there banging right now with Golden State. They look committed to me.
Yeah, they
do. To quote your boy, the Big Tuna, famous New York Giants and New York Jets coach, he says, your record is what you say you are. No, I'm sorry, you are what your record says you are, right? The Lakers got 17 championships. And every year that they don't win it, it is a disappointment. Your year is a failure, just like in Boston. If Boston making the playoffs or making East Coast finals, that ain't enough. They play for championships every year. If your organization does not feel that way, they are not on the same level. It's only 2 franchises that see it like that, and he's at one of them. Mm-hmm. So if you ain't trying to win like that, especially with the window closing, he ain't. I'm telling you, bro, he ain't trying to hear it.
Well, I agree with some of what you're saying, but I disagree with the part about him not wanting to go to like a Houston. I think he would go to a Houston in a second if he has a chance to win and go off in the swan song and get a championship. That's just what I think. You know what I mean?
You
Now
don't know
we
them people,
all
man.
I know. I'm just saying we all speculate. We don't know what he would do, what he wouldn't do, because we ain't him. But I think that in a great situation, I could see him doing a couple of different things. And listen, LeBron's about playing for chips. He wants to be compared to Mike, and he wants to have people think that he's better than Mike in any situation. And if he can get one more chip to do that, he right now a lot of people already think he's better than Mike because he's 40 years old
Because he
playing.
is.
Yeah,
Listen. LeBron only plays in cities that have good strip clubs. Miami,
That ain't L.A.
LA. He only did it in Cleveland because he's from Cleveland. He owed them one. But outside of that, if your city ain't got a good strip club, LeBron ain't coming. Houston got some good strip clubs. So it's a possibility he might go there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Don't be surprised he mess around and he go to Toronto. They got great strip clubs.
I don't know about nothing about that, but let's keep the show going, which leads me into my question. The first question I'm gonna start up today because we're talking about trades. So I want to know because Giannis Antetokounmpo is the biggest name in the business right now. So I thought it'd be interesting to say, especially what happened a couple of days ago. It'd be interesting to say which are the top 5 teams that you would like to see him play for if if he gets traded, because at the end of the day, I don't see. I mean, we all speculating here, and once the steam cools off and he calms down, I don't see him staying with Milwaukee. It don't make sense to me. Doesn't mean he won't do it because he's an unusual type of player. He doesn't think like the normal players do. The way he was raised and everything else, he still could turn right back around and go to Milwaukee. Because one thing we can all say is he's dedicated. You know what I mean? He might give them that 100% shot because they gave him the shot the first to play in the league. You know what I mean? When he wasn't built like that. So my number 5 team for me is the Lakers. I could literally see him in a Lakers uniform if he was willing to do that. My number 4 team, which I would find really interesting, would be the Dallas Mavericks. You know what I mean? I would think that with Kyrie and AD would be real interesting. I was like, I kind of like that. Now, number 3 team would be the New York Knicks. I think that him with the Knicks is that would be a great spot for him to be in. I would like to see him in a New York Knicks uniform, if possible, because he would make him with Jalen Brunson and some of those boys they got there. Now, again, this is if the team can stay the same and he gets traded and they lose just draft picks and maybe one player away. So one player in the trade. Number 2 for me again is those young boys at Houston who need that veteran presence. I could see him doing that. But the number 1 team to me that makes the most sense is the same team that everybody has him basically going to is Miami Heat, because him with Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero and the way Miami just got embarrassed, like the way they got embarrassed. I think Miami is going to make such a huge push this year. I don't think that Milwaukee's going to be able to say no. What they're going to offer him. That's just the way I see it. So Mo, being the comic on the panel, and I know you got to have something funny or crazy to say, which is the reason why I'll enjoy it when you on the show. Give me your top 5 teams you would like to see Giannis play for.
I got Orlando number 1, number 5. Him going to Orlando because I tried to pick the teams where I could see him financially fitting in. Because some of the teams I feel like financially he just wouldn't fit in, even though he's a good fit for that team. Right. Orlando, you put him in Orlando now, next year with Ben Caro, man, listen, their team becomes the Eastern Conference contender automatically. Of course, I put Miami down there. I'm not going to, and I got Houston down there. My sleeper, Indianapolis.
I like that, yeah.
Indianapolis. Imagine if he was in Indianapolis right now and they got to get ready to go. Huh?
He ain't playing with Halliburton.
I'm just saying, he ain't got that choice if they make that move. But imagine him right now, Indianapolis, get ready to go up against Cleveland. Man, that's a hell of a series right there. That's a hell of a. Then if they beat Cleveland, imagine if he was in Indianapolis and they got to play Boston. Because Indianapolis can shoot and they got some athleticism with them. And with Giannis there, it opens up the court a whole lot more for them. And the last one I got is the Lakers, of course. I got the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Tinseltown, it's prime time. You know, they on the verge of just being like a few steps away. As far as him coming to New York, I don't see it.
Okay. Jason, give me your 5 teams you would like to see Giannis Antetokounmpo play for.
It seems like we're kind of like on the same page, me, you, and Mo, because it's about fit. It's also about teams that have assets to give up, to even acquire him. And a lot of time, it has to be a team that's been bad for a long time, so they've stockpiled young talent and they have draft picks. So only a few teams make sense for that. And so for me, I'm going to go team number 5, Brooklyn Nets. And I say the Brooklyn Nets only because it's a New York City team that has no superstar. And I feel like they would do whatever they had to do to get him into the building, but they would spend money to build around it. So even though, they don't have a lot of players right now, the Nets owner will spend bread to like at least give him somebody, to compete with. Number 4, I like the Pistons. I think the Pistons are up and coming in a way, he's already shown that he doesn't care about being in a major city or a major market. He's just there to ball. So keeping Cade, keeping a couple more of those young pieces around him, and they still got draft picks coming. They got the assets to bring him in. I like him there. Now, number 3, this stars, my Florida swing. I like him in Orlando. Like, they have a lot of young, talented dudes who are big, athletic, skilled players, but they need that vet. And he could be that vet for them, that help them take that next step and, and go to the next level. Number 2, Miami Heat. A lot of players don't fit Heat culture. Like, a lot of people just can't deal with Pat Riley, the way that he is. Giannis is one of those rare superstars that can deal with Pat Riley because, he's a humble dude. He works hard already. He's a pure dog. So him and Bam and Tyler Hero and those dudes, they mesh perfectly. Number 1 spot, even though I don't think they got the stuff to get him there, is the Lakers. Nobody needs him more than the Lakers because they got a dude that they got to pay that cannot guard. So you got to get somebody, who's big. They need size. They need defense. They got to get more athletic, and they got to get tougher mentally, in big moments. And he fits the bill for all those things for them, because Luka's never going to be able to guard, bro. So you need somebody like Giannis back there to erase things and make up for where Luka's hella deficient. So that, Giannis coming in automatically makes Jackson Hayes that much more better because he ain't got to score now.
Yeah.
Now, Bron ain't got to go out and get 40, you know what I'm saying, at 40 or 41 years old for them to win. And what's lost on this with Bron, do you understand that Bron's 40 years old? He's probably going to be first team, second team, all NBA?
Yep.
That's how good that dude still is. So ain't nobody trying to get up off of him either. You know what I'm saying? Just like younger superstars, the Lakers ain't trying to get up off them either.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I agree with everything you just said, bro. He was right on point, which leads me to the next question, which I thought makes a lot of sense too, because we talking about trades and everything else. So if we go talk about trades, who are the top 5 stars you think should be traded after the season? Now, this is what I did when I did my list. So I'm going to let you all know this right now off the top. These are stars I would like to see traded, but I don't necessarily think they will be traded in any means necessary. It's not, these trades not going to happen at all. This is just my fantasy trade on what I think, because these are the 5 stars that I liked and the way it happened. And I would love to see this happen if I could wave a wand and make it happen. Okay, that's what I would do. But I'm gonna start out with number 5. What I'm about to say is because this is the hot topic that's going on in Boston radio right now. For those of you sitting here watching this and not listening to Boston radio, Nikola Jokic to the Boston Celtics for Kristaps Porzingis. Believe it or not, that's what people are talking about right now, because this is the last season. This is a fact. This is the last season that the Celtics are going to be assembled the way you see them right now, because of the luxury tax and what's happening right now. People are saying in Boston radio that Jokic is want to, out of Denver because he's not happy in Denver, which I hear is fact. And his contract, believe it or not, works better than Kristaps Porzingis' contract. So I can see that part happen. That's probably the only one I can see happen. Other than that, number 4 for me, I'd like to see Ja Morant play with the LA Clippers the way they're built now. You know what I mean? Because I think that would be a phenomenal. Those boys would make them run like that. That would be a great team right there, if you ask me. Then I would like to see Bam Adebayo with the New York Knicks the way they built right now. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that that's going to happen, but that's how I would like to see it because Bam Adebayo is a banger and he is of that culture, and he loves to bang down the middle. So, and I thought maybe he'd be better with Detroit, but then I thought about the Knicks. I was like, he'd probably be better for that. Number 2 for me is Donovan Mitchell to OKC because I would love to see the way his playing style is with SGA because they're similar, but Donovan Mitchell, the way he balls out, it's like you can't tell me if you don't add him with the way they're built right now that they don't win a chip. It'd be impossible for not to happen. They would win a chip. Matter of fact, they'd run it back for 2 or 3 years as long as that whole thing would stay. But my number 1 is got to be Pablo Banchero to the Houston Rockets because I absolutely love this young kid, Pablo. I think he is the future league, star of the league. He could be the face of the league. He's only 21, 22 years old. This kid can ball. I just feel some kind of way about this kid. I think this kid really got it in him. I think he got that dog in him to be that guy. I think he really can do it. He's my, me and Kev talk about this kid all the time because, we all watch ball, and when you see it on a player, you could just yeah, this kid got it. I had to say the same thing with Ant-Man. When I saw it, I was like, this kid got it. But Pablo is definitely an NBA future, the way I see it. Mo, give me your top 5 stars who you think should be traded if you could wave a magic wand.
If I could wave a magic wand, I'd send Zion Williamson to Houston. I think Zion would fit in. He's a big body. He's athletic. And I think Ime Udoka would get him in shape and get him ready to be NBA ready to run out there and bang with Houston. You put Zion in Houston, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I said this before. Domantas Sabonis to the New York Knicks. The Knicks don't need another scorer. We need that offensive rebounding threat. We survive off of second shots, off of second shot attempts, second and third. That's how we got to where we at now. It's where we got last year. We get Domantas Sabonis, who's the number 1 rebounder in the league, takes us somewhere else. I don't know if Frank gonna like this. Kevin Durant to Boston. Because I know you guys ain't going to be assembled. Y'all going to need somebody. Y'all going to lose somebody. Yeah. You're going to lose. I don't know who it is. It's going to be like Derek White, Porzingis.
It's going to be Drew.
You're going to lose somebody.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant fills that gap to whoever you lose. I'm not saying give up somebody for Durant. I'm saying y'all going to lose somebody because you said it yourself. The contracts in the league is set up where you won't have you got to do it. You got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And Anthony Edwards to New York. I think that him being in Minnesota is okay. Him being in New York would take his game, would take his career to the next level. He's the face. He's one of the many faces that the league is trying to figure out who's going to be on top of the league. Him in New York, it gives us another edge. I didn't have 4. I don't have a 5th one. I couldn't think of nobody else.
Okay. All right. Give me yours, Jason. Give me yours.
Well, this is just me looking at players and saying they just gotta go because it's time for them to get up out of wherever they are. So for me, KD has to be traded. KD has to get out. I don't know where he goes. I don't care where he goes, but KD has to get up out of Phoenix. There's nothing left for him to do. There's no upside there. It's time to go. Number 4 for me, Bradley Beal needs to get traded up out of Phoenix.
Yeah.
He serves no purpose there. His trade to go there made no sense in the first place. He plays the same position as Devin Booker. He's not as big, he's not as young, and I don't understand why they would have that much salary cap getting eaten up by one position. He has to go because Devin Booker, you got to keep him. I mean, he's the franchise at this point. Number 3, who has to go? I think you'll like this. Giancarlo Stanton needs to get up out of the Bronx.
You
Bro,
went baseball on me. You went baseball on me, huh?
he said sports, right?
Yep.
I cannot think of a person who eats up more salary and never plays more than Giancarlo Stanton, bro. They paying
Yeah,
this dude like $200 million. He might play 20 games a season. It's crazy. It's time to just let him go, man. Just eat it. Number 2 for me, I'm gonna go Mark Andrews with the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm.
He's a phenomenal tight end. There's no question about it. But I don't think he's ever going to be able to exercise that ghost of dropping that ball in the end zone. And whenever he messes up, ever in Baltimore in front of those fans, they're going to get on it. So go ahead, cut your losses, get him on up out of there. Start over somewhere new. Where his face don't hurt as much. He needs to be traded. And the number 1 person who needs to be traded is Giannis Antetokounmpo. They got to get something for him because I don't think he's coming back, man. I don't care what he says. They got 2 years left on his contract. 3 years on the contract, but it's really 2 because he owns the option on the 3rd year. Go ahead, do him a favor, do yourself a favor, take the best deal available, get something in exchange for him, and let that dude go play in a big market. He deserves to be in a bigger market than Milwaukee.
I got to say this. I like all your picks. Giannis, I agree, got to go because at the end of the day, Milwaukee is they're about to be in purgatory for a minute if they don't do something. They ain't got no picks. They stuck. They got to do something. Like
you know who my 5th one would be?
Ooh.
CJ McCullough to Milwaukee. I think that would be a good move right there. Pull out CJ McCullough out of New Orleans because he's in purgatory in New Orleans. You put him in Milwaukee. He's not Dame Lillard, but he replaces what you lost with Drew Holiday.
Yeah, but see, this is why I like sports because one player could come in and bless your franchise, and one player could come in and screw your whole franchise up. And that Dame Lillard, Dame, I love him as a player and everything else, but he came in, he screwed Milwaukee up, man. That injury and everything else that he's dealing with and all that. Now Milwaukee hasn't even been ever since Milwaukee got rid of Drew Holiday and brought in Dame because they had their eyes on Dame the whole time. Everything else, they've been cursed, and Drew was sitting there, they've been cursed. He was sitting there. The Celtics were like, okay, thank you. We'll take him. We'll take him. So that leads me into what we were talking about this week with obviously with Halliburton's dad. This leads me into this. I decided I was going to pick something called the top 5 worst parent moments in sports. I did all low hanging fruit because I figured how he's going to be in today, and he was going to do some of the stuff, dive in, and him not being here kind of makes me go, okay, all right. I'm surprised you didn't done with it. So number 5 for me is Earl Woods, the father of Tiger Woods. He was been notorious for being horrible, but when he turned into a Green Beret that he was on the court, against those golfers and everything else, and he blitzed on some of those golfers that was never filmed and everything else. They talk about it to this day. I was like, that puts him at number 5 for me. Like he's notorious for that. He scared a lot of those white boys. They were like, we don't want him on this field, and they were happy that he moved on. Number 4 for me, it's got to be Richard Williams because Richard Williams went off against the interviewer, which is legendary. They even put it in the film. He's the father of Venus and Serena. You know what I mean? It was legendary the way he went off on them, and they put a part in the film with Will Smith, so they had to add that. Number 3 for me, it's got to be John Moran's dad because he went off just this past February and cussed out a lot of the refs and got picked up on video and everything else, the way he was cussing them out and everything. It was just, to me, it was funny. It was hysterical because he was drunk. You could clearly see he was drunk. Number 2, easy fruit, Gloria James, mother of LeBron James, 2008 Cavs Celtics playoff game. She comes running in there trying to mess up in there with Paul Pierce and LeBron James scuffle. And number one for me, I think will forever be cemented in NBA history was what just recently happened 2 days ago with John Halliburton, Tyrese Halliburton's dad. I don't think, I mean, we all don't know, but I don't think that you will ever have an NBA parent be more embarrassing than what John Halliburton did for Tyrese Halliburton the other day. I don't see anybody eclipsing that because you stole your son's shine. Your son literally created an NBA moment that will never happen again in NBA history. Hadn't happened in 2,000 games where your team comes down by 7 with 40 seconds left to go in the game. You win the game and nobody's talking about that because you stole your limelight. I just don't see how you could be eclipsed that. I don't see that. Give me yours, Mo. Top 5 worst parent moments in sports. Now, I will say this before I throw it to you, Mo. I saw a billion of them for kids. Like a billion of them. So
I kept it professional sports. I knew it would be a million of them for kids, and we could be going through a million of them. So I kept it with professional sports. BJ and Boo Wee, the father and mother of Michelle Wee. Remember Michelle Wee, the golfer? She was like a golfer prodigy, like 16 years old. 15. They had all these offers for her, and they decided to turn everybody down, make her go pro in the men's division, and she just failed awfully. So bad that we ain't heard from her no more. Her parents ruined her career. Tony Rasmus. This is the father of Kobe Rasmus, a baseball player. He was notoriously ruined his son's career with 2 teams, the Cardinals and the Blue Jays. He was challenging the managers on how to do the team. He challenged Tony La Russa on managing a baseball team. How stupid can your father be to go up there who's never managed a team? He just ruined it for him. I got Tyrese Halliburton's father up there. That's low-hanging fruit. If anything ever comes up by the parent, I will always put down LeBron James' mama, not for what she tried to do with the Celtics, her and Delonte West. That is the worst thing in the world, to be caught messing with your son's teammate. That means he was young as your son, and you out there messing with him. You sitting back putting his Timberlands next to your son's Timberlands. That ain't right. That ain't right. He coming to practice with LeBron shorts on. So ain't that my shorts? Yeah, man. Your mama told me I can wear them. I ain't had nothing clean anymore. And the last parent is Portia. She's the mother of Lexus. Portia went down to the strip club because she felt like Lexus should be on the main stage. She pushed past the security, you know what I'm saying? She went past Hines, my man Hines, and Daquan. They were security, pushed past them. She went to the manager, his name is Fat Stink, and she let Fat Stink know that Alexis should be on the main stage. And she got to the point where she even went to the strip club during the season and jumped up on the stage and protested that her daughter, Alexis, should be on the main sage.
I don't know how you come up with these, Mo. I don't know how you do it. Give me yours, Jason.
Well, you got to go long, Hagen, because I've never seen this before. John Halliburton did one of the most outrageous things I've ever seen a parent do in professional sports in my life. So he has to be on that list for doing that. Number 4, I'm going to go Marv Marinovich, father of Todd Marinovich. You know, it wasn't so much like, like an embarrassment, but all we heard about in Sports Illustrated, I remember reading about this dude when I was young. He controlled his diet, he ate nothing but this. He worked out, during this time, he studied this, he studied that. He was going to be the prototypical, almost cyborg quarterback to come in and take over with his son, Todd Marinovich. Unfortunately, for Marv, he got a little bit embarrassed because he didn't factor in that Todd was a Mr. Snuffleupagus when it came to that booger sugar. You know what I'm saying? He did not take into account that his seed was gonna be on that booger sugar. I mean, he was sniffing like that yayo like Tony Montana, son.
Yeah.
Killed his whole career. Rap. Number three for me, just like Mo, you gotta go Gloria James, man.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, the rumor is out there, and so something either happened or something close enough to it happened to that this is out there that she's sleeping with her son's teammate. And now get it. I understand she was like 14 or 15 when she had him, but it doesn't matter, bro. I mean, you got to have more, more tact and more cool about yourself than not get caught up in that kind of situation. Number two for me, I'm gonna go terrible parent moment, Stephen A. Smith. The second he posted that sorry ass video of him hitting them boxing pads, his daughter's lives were forever changed. You know what I'm saying? Bro, y'all saw the video, bro.
Yeah,
His daughter saw that and they said if anything ever happened and we with daddy, we all getting messed up. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't protecting nothing. You hear me? And number one, the saddest thing that I can think about, I'm gonna go with Yaqub Talib. He is the brother of former NFL cornerback Aqib Talib. And what he did was that he got hot in his feelings at a youth football game in Texas, pulled out a gun, and he shot and murdered a youth football coach in front of his son and his wife, in front of a bunch of other kids in Texas, because he was too emotionally unstable to deal with the outcome of a youth football game. It does not get worse than that moment right there.
Yeah, I think that one is the clips. I thought the Tyrese Halliburton situation. If you want to throw that into the pot, yeah, that one is definitely the top one.
Yeah, I think murder tops everything.
Yeah, murder does. It does. Yeah, he did it with that one. Yeah, Jay, that's one thing I like about this doing the show. You all always make me think, man. It's always great that you make me laugh and you make me think. But the Tyrese Halliburton thing, I thought was up there. Gloria James, you like that. Whew, not only you do sleeping with your son's teammate, your son is especially at that moment, was the best player in the league.
Face of the league.
He was the face of the league on a worldwide scale, like
worldwide global scale, a global scale.
Yeah, and you decide you want, and then you don't think that's gonna stay a secret. That's the part that made me like, what's wrong with you, woman? Like, what? Oh, all right. So that leads me into the top 5 most surprising moments in sports. Now, this list for me, I put it together for me as saying this is jaw-dropping moments for me. Like this stuff that made me just go, I can't believe that I just saw what I just saw. Like that's how I compiled my list. Now, we all talked about this yesterday, what we're going to do, but that's how I hope you guys approached it, because that's the way I approached it. And for me, coming in at number 5, it's got to be the Doug Flutie pass for the BC Eagles versus the Miami Hurricanes way back in 1984 to Gerald Freelon for 63 yards. I was watching that game live. I thought that game was over. I was sitting there. I wasn't following college football at the time. I was just watching it, and I just couldn't believe what I saw. I mean, I was shocked for them. Dude turned around and won the Heisman like 2 weeks right after that because that pass was so dope. Number 4 for me, it's got to be the Patriots losing the Super Bowl in 2007. Like I literally thought, hands down, that they were going to win that game and go 19-0. You know what I mean? And up until 2 minutes ago in that game, they were going to win that game. So that jaw-dropping moment, that made me go, I can't believe I'm saying what I'm saying. Notice how I'm even adding stuff that disappointed me on this list. Just want y'all to both notice that. I'm doing that because, again, jaw-dropping. Number 3 for me, it's got to be the collapse of the 2004 New York Yankees in the ALCS. Again, I did not see that happening. I don't think anybody saw in any sport where you go up 3-0, and then on the third game of 3-0, you win 19-5, and that you would think that the team that you just put your foot in, that they're going to come back and win, because you would thought that they would be so demoralized. You know what I mean? I don't think we ever will see that again, ever.
Against the greatest closer ever.
Ever. Like, see that. Matter of fact, you're winning. You are literally in the game 4, and you're winning, and the greatest closer comes in. I literally thought that series was a wrap, and I was a Red Sox fan. Like, okay, it's over. Like, it's great, it's over. So yeah, I didn't see that happening. Number 2 for me, when it comes to jaw-dropping moments, I don't think too many things are going to get bigger than the Malice at the Palace. What I saw unfold that time at the Malice at the Palace with the fight and just how it just started unfolding into the stands, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I don't think anybody saw that. But the number one most jaw-dropping moment for me happened in 1990 when I saw Buster Douglas literally beat Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? Especially at that time when Mike Tyson was the most Iron Man Mike of all time. Like, I don't think anybody saw that happening in any sport. And I think everybody and their mother lost their shirt that night who bet on that game. Or bet on that fight. That's the way I think that would have unfolded. Because those to me were my top 5 most surprising. Notice I didn't add this in jaw-dropping moments. So Mo, give me your most surprising jaw-dropping moments.
All right, number 5 for me, Riddick Bowe and the Holyfield fight when the dude flew in with the parachute into the building of the ring. I kind of picked things that were like bugged out that you didn't expect to see. Right. I think that ain't jaw dropping. Somebody parachute into the middle of the ring, and he landed in the ring too. So he was on point. He got his ass whipped though. Probably
they beat his ass.
Yeah, they beat him. Yeah, they did. They knocked him unconscious.
1982. Cal versus Stanford. This is one of the greatest things ever. Yeah. When they thought the game was over, the band rushed the field.
Yeah.
And the game wasn't over. Cal was doing the laterals. Game win. Cal win. The band got knocked over. That was it. Number 3, the time Allen Iverson crossed over Jordan.
Yeah.
The whole world saw it. It was on TV. Allen Iverson put the world on notice and let them know that he's in the league. I'm the answer. He was like the airness. Yeah, he's all that. He's my idol, but I'm here now. When he crossed over Jordan, man. Bo Jackson running over Brian Bosworth. Remember that was the thing about the two of them when they got drafted and everybody was hyping up Brian Bosworth to be this and Brian Bosworth is this and he's that. You know, all the brothers, we were like, man, Bo knows. And that game was Seattle versus Oakland. I'll never forget that game, man.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. He ran Brian Bosworth's ass right over on the sideline. And the number 1 for me, Mike Tyson taking a chunk of Holyfield's ear.
That was crazy.
If that ain't jaw dropping, I don't know what. Mike had a whole lot of different moments in life, but that one right there, literally, he took a chunk of his ear out in the middle of a fight.
He did it twice. Like, he bit his ear twice. Yeah, I'm like,
twice. Somebody get that boy a Skittles or something. He hungry.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with you? All right, so that brings me to Jason. Jason, give me your top 5 most surprising moments in sports.
One that immediately came to mind was Dale Earnhardt Sr. In the he was racing Daytona 500, and he crashed into the wall. Seen way worse crashes, bro, but he died. Mm-hmm. Like, he just hit the wall. Another car hits him, and then it seemed like you're waiting for him to just crawl out the car. He didn't crawl out. Next thing you know, they're making the announcement. This dude died in that car crash. And what's wild about it, Dale Jr. was also racing in that race, and he came in second place. Yeah. So he's like high, and then you got to tell this dude that his pops just died, man, in a car crash on the last lap of the race. That was like gobsmacking. Number 4, I'm gonna go with this year's NFL draft when Jacksonville said nothing. No, there were no leaks. There was no speculation, anything. Number 2 pick comes up for Cleveland. Jacksonville traded into the spot, and they drafted what many regard as the best player in the draft in Travis Hunter. That was a massive surprise for everybody involved because nobody saw that coming, especially me. because they don't make good decisions. Number 3, I'm gonna go Magic Johnson make an HIV announcement.
Yeah, that was big.
Bro,
yeah.
Like, wait a minute, bro. Magic?
Yeah.
Like, it was, I couldn't wrap my brain around that, bro. You know, and had you told me that Magic will still be here in 2025, I'd be like, ain't no way, man.
Yeah.
Because AIDS was a death sentence back then.
Mhm.
You know? Number 2, I'm gonna go Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance.
Okay.
Bro, I was like, that show was blackity, blackity, black, 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 black.
Yeah.
You know, and he did that with Trump in the building, and in Louisiana, one of the reddest states of the red states, and he said, I'm gonna do this and just lay it down like that in front of 150 million people around the world. Incredible. What he did blew my mind. And number 1, I need y'all to stay with me, bro, because you know you were surprised too. Bruce decided he needed some titties.
Yeah.
Bro, like, I remember the stories, you know, it was leaking out. And they were saying, you know, like Kris Jenner was saying that Bruce was trans. I thought she was just saying that because they were going through a divorce and she was just trying to slander him. You know what I'm saying? You know, to make, make it more favorable, for her in the divorce. Come to find out, Bruce really did want to be Caitlyn. And I mean, to this day, I can't think of a more shocking moment in sports than the manliest of men saying that his whole life he felt like he was a woman and followed through on it.
You forgot to add this too, though. He was an Olympic champion too. That's what made it go like
the athlete.
Yeah,
right.
He and a couple of events,
right.
Yeah, that was woo. You know what you guys did? You guys pulled up 10 great moments in sports that made me go, wow, maybe I need to revisit my list, because like you guys, I like the way you guys attacked this. That was a pretty good list. Pretty good list. I like that. I like both of y'all. Your list is good. All right, I was gonna do the most surprising blowouts in NBA play. I'm gonna get to that, but I want to get this because we did this. We had this list for a couple days now. Let me get this out the way. I want to do the top 5 film sequels better than the original to me and to you. And because this was a holdover and it was for a couple of days, I want to get this out the way. So for me, number 5 coming in, just to be a little bit different and add some stuff in, add some flavor in it, and see how people are thinking about it. Top 5 film sequels better than the original to me. Number 5 coming in for me is Captain America: Winter Soldier was better than Captain America, the first one, hands down. And you know how I know? Because when I went to see it with my wife, I turned over to my wife and she had her head back and she was snoring in the original. My wife don't even fall asleep in the movies. But the original, she fell asleep in the movie. She was like, honey, I couldn't take the original. It was too slow. And I liked it, but she didn't like it. But when she fell asleep, I knew, okay, yeah, that movie maybe was kind of boring. Maybe I just liked it that much because I was a comic book fan. But yeah, so and then Captain America: Winter Soldier was, to me, it's top 3 best Marvel films made. Like that movie. It is dope. Yeah, like top 3. Could even be top 2 if you ask me. Number 4 for me, Top Gun: Maverick was better than Top Gun. And I don't care what nobody says. Like Top Gun was good. It's better in the 80s, but Top Gun: Maverick was up to date. The flight sequences and everything. Like that movie was dope. Loved it. Number 3 for me, and this was a tough one, but to me, The Dark Knight is better than Batman Begins, hands down, because Batman Begins was super dope, but Dark Knight was the bomb. But like Heath Ledger was everything about that movie, the directing, the way they came in at it with Batman, the way they and in the end, the way they closed it out I can go on and on and on about The Dark Knight, but I don't have enough time. I could. But number 2 for me has got to be Terminator 2, because I thought Terminator 1 was amazing, but Terminator 2 was even better than the original. And when I went to the movies knowing that Terminator 2 was going to be worse than Terminator 1. So I was 100% blown away with that, and I loved it. But the number one movie for me that I've been saying for decades, and it's going to be really hard for people to eclipse out of my mind, is Aliens 2 is way better than Aliens 1. And Aliens 1 was good. Like it was like at the time, it was good. But Aliens 2 for me set a precedent that the Aliens franchise still hasn't caught up to yet. They still haven't been able, even though they've put out some several other movies, but they have not caught up to Aliens 2 with the Marines coming in and they attacking the whole, the colony, trying to set up with the whole bunch of those aliens. Like, it's going to be hard for them to eclipse that. And I don't think they will ever be able to. That's just for me. But those are my top 5 film sequels that are better than the original. Now, mind you, I could have gave you 30 or 40 more, but that's just mine that came to mind. Low hanging fruit for me. I wrote that down real fast. So with that being said, let me see what your top 5 film sequels that are better than the original are, because it's always interesting to see what the comics thoughts are. Give me yours.
All right, number 5 for me, The Avengers, baby. The Avengers. The second Avengers is better than the first one. I love the Avengers. All the Avengers movies were always better than the first one. The next one, I'm going with the Avengers, baby, all the way. Number 4, Transformers.
Don't do that no more. Don't do that no more.
Oh,
yo, Transformers 2.
Let's roll out.
Man, listen, and I want to say this too, because we were talking about the best villains. I think Decepticon, he's the best villain ever. He's the best villain.
Megatron.
Oh man, Decepticon, man. Listen, what's his name? Not Optimus Prime.
Megatron.
Megatron. That's my boy. I like a Megatron all the time. Creed 2. You know what I'm saying? I like the whole Creed franchise. I didn't think Creed 1 was
better than Creed 1? Really?
Yeah, man, because it took it somewhere else. I mean, like, I did. I dug it. I did the whole Creed franchise. And then take me to Rocky 2.
Okay.
Rocky 2, baby. Rocky 2. Yeah, man. And my number 1 pick, Penitentiary 2. With Leon Isaac Kennedy. Penitentiary 2 is the joy. If you ain't seen Penitentiary 2, if you out there right there, you never see Penitentiary 2, go to your grandparents' house, pull out the VCR. I'm sure your grandmother or your grandfather got Penitentiary 1 and 2. It's something you got to watch. It's a must-see movie.
I'm going to tell. I'm gonna let Leon Isaac Kennedy know you said that. He would be happy to know that somebody thinks his sequel is better than his original, because you might be the only one. Okay, Jay, give me your filmmaker here. He's a filmmaker, y'all. So let's pay attention to what he's saying. Go ahead.
Let's do it. So number 5 for me, Terminator 2. You have to have that on your list, man, for a sequel that's better. I mean, not only was it better than the original, it was the first movie I remember that really launched that new special effects thing where things like really crazy realistic and computer generated special effects. Nobody was really doing that before this movie. Plus the story was just better. I mean, everything about that movie was better than the original, and the original's pretty doggone good. Like Mo, number 4 for me is the Avengers Endgame. Endgame was better than everyone before it because it tied everything up. It had drama. It had everything a movie should have, plus some. Plus every character in the Marvel universe was essentially in it. So you can't ever go wrong, where you can bring all these people in and have it actually work. Much way better. Number 3, I'm going to Dark Knight. And I would argue it's the best movie in the franchise. Not just better than the first one. It's the best one that he made. And in the trilogy.
Yeah. I agree.
It lacked nothing.
Yeah.
It lacked nothing. Number 2, I'm gonna go to Return of the King, the last installment in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It was better than all of the movies that preceded it. It tied everything up. Wonderful storytelling. Wonderful movie. And number 1, the best sequel ever, The Godfather Part 2.
Okay.
It is better than The Godfather in every conceivable way.
I like your list. I like your list. Matter of fact, you picked 5 flawless movies. I like how you did that. If I had to nitpick, because my wife gets mad at me when I do this. If I had to nitpick Avengers Endgame, the only thing wrong with Avengers Endgame to me, the only thing was when that one scene when all the women came in to do that empowerment movement thing, because we were in that moment when we had to do stuff for women, like when they all came together. You know how the ball, I don't even know how it all landed together. I don't even remember exactly, but they all came together because they said she's not alone. And the next thing they in the middle of a fight, I'm like, that's the only thing that to me that ruined the movie. But other than that, the movie was still A+. You know what I mean? So I like your list, Jay. I like your list. I'm looking at the time. I don't know if we're gonna have enough time to do the top 5 most surprising blowouts in the NBA history.
Let's hold it for tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold it for tomorrow. I'm going to bring in my man White Chocolate. White Chocolate, what's happening, bro? How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
What's going on, White Chocolate?
You want to throw in real fast before I sign us off? You want to add something to the show, because I know you was watching.
Yeah, the Doug Flutie pass. I was watching that game like you.
Yeah.
And I literally jumped out of the chair. My parents and my grandparents were playing cards, scared the crap out of all of them, and I got yelled at. Let's put it.
Yeah, we were in high school at the time, right? I think we
That's
were in
right.
84. Yeah, we were in high school. Yeah. I remember that vividly. I want those other thing out there too and say Avengers Endgame might be, I should have probably added that on my list. And The Dark Knight, I think The Dark Knight was the best film in the franchise of that, because let me just say this, The Dark Knight Returns was so disappointing for me. I was so mad. I walked out of that theater because the biggest thing for me about The Dark Knight is there's no way in hell Bruce Wayne would take 5 years off. That was one of the biggest things. It is as adamant as he is about being, a crime fighter. There's no way he would have sat in the Bruce Wayne manor for 5 years and did nothing. It just that was number one. And number two, the Bane scene after Bane kicked his behind, right? Y'all remember Bane kicks his behind? He ends up having the fight scene. And he doesn't he's beating Bane, but then they let the woman, the other players end up helping him beat. Like he still doesn't beat Bane. Right? And then the fight, the way they edited it out too. The first 2 movies they edit, Batman fighting with quick clips and fighting at night. The third one fighting at daytime, no quick cuts, it looked mediocre to me. The fight scene, I just was so disappointed. I just was so disappointed. And then the way they ended it, that was a terrible way to end the franchise to me. So I know I went on a tangent, but Jason brought back some horrible memories when he said the best film in the franchise. I was like, you know what that was? Because ultimately, I remember walking out of that theater, Dark Knight Returns, upset. But on Return of the King, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, didn't that clean up at the Oscars? Because that movie was like, I think it did. Yeah. It was well deserved. I think it was well deserved. All right, so let's get roll up out of here. Mo, tell me what you got going on. What's going on in the world of Mo and how we can follow you?
Always on Instagram, Mo MOE_comic and Dysfunctional Ref. I just got booked for next week. I'll be opening up for Freddie Ricks when he comes here to Boston. Freddie Ricks in the cinema on Shaft, Baby Boy, things of that matter, And I had another. Oh, a movie I forgot to mention. Let's Do It Again. Better than the original.
Yeah, it is. That was.
Let's
All
do
right.
it again.
Jason, tell me
That's it, baby.
How they can follow you, bro.
You can follow me at JD Hayes on Fanbase. I'm out here just doing what I do around New York City, man. Writing these scripts.
Here it is. And White Chocolate.
Follow me and Frank on our other show, Boston Straight Shooters, on Facebook and YouTube.
Which is a great show too, by the way. Let me throw that out there and say that because we talk trash about our Boston sports, but nobody eclipses talking more trash about our Boston sports than White Chocolate here. He's the most negative person. He's so negative. He got a name called Negative Ned, and he actually pissed me off sometimes when I'm sitting like, dude, can you stop talking about my sports teams like that?
Can't do it, Frank.
See, he does it on purpose.
Listen, I forget who said it earlier in the show. It might have been Jason. Listen, it's championships around here. We're not fiddling and diddling. We're not messing around. So
but Jason was right. Like that's how. Listen, Boston is known as Sports Town USA. I don't care what nobody says. We are talking about championships in all 4 our sports, and when we don't get them, we talk trash about our teams.
Oh, Jesus.
You know it, Mo, because you live here. You know it. That's how we do it. It's the truth.
Come on, man. Y'all just started getting known for being a sports town. Outside of that, you only had the Celtics.
Are you drunk or something? You all right? We've been known like that.
Wait,
Y'all
you
had
live
the
here? You
When
live
I
here?
moved up,
You live under a
here,
rock,
the only
dude?
team that when I moved up here, the Red Sox hadn't won in over 70, 80 years. The Patriots were still wearing brown bags. People were still wearing brown bags over their heads. And there were more Giant fans than Patriot fans when I moved up here. The Celtics, they were giving tickets away until they got Ray Allen. I went to the Celtic game. They put me on the game. I had 9 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists. Damn, they had a triple-double.
I got a perfect thing. I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna bombard your Facebook down. I'm about to flood you with stuff. Since 2000. I'm about to flood you with stuff. Since you moved,
I moved up here in 1995.
Yeah, okay, and I said since 2000.
So you give me that's a whole 5 years of me
doing nothing. Okay,
no winning because the Yankees were winning back then.
Yeah, they were winning back then. But since 2000, which it's 2025 now. We've been in the conversation with something since 2000. And one Boston sport or another. And yeah, you just opened up I was trying to be nice. I'm about to hit you, boy.
Yeah, but all your stuff happens after 2000.
It's 25 years, Bo. We're talking 25 years.
Yeah, but y'all act like y'all been doing this forever.
I didn't say that. I said for 25 years.
I mean, the Celtics have, for sure.
Yeah, I give it to the Celtics.
And the Patriots have. And now the Red Sox got 4. We got 4. Did
the Patriots go 10 years without a ring?
Yeah, but don't the Patriots got?
They made 2 Super Bowls though, like before they started winning.
Yeah, they made 2. In 95, they made 1. In 85, they made another one. So yeah, okay. But since the Patriots now got 6 of them things that they won with 10 Super Bowl appearances. So I mean, okay, you want to? All right,
that's 10 years is a big gap not to win a ring to be called.
Remember that when I talked to you about the New York Knicks.
Hey man, listen. How long did it take the Red Sox to get one? 80 what years?
It don't matter. We got 4.
Listen,
now.
how long did it take? How long did it take the Rangers to get one? They haven't won one since.
Yeah, so we go on. I mean,
I left him speechless. See, you can't answer.
Listen, you know what? We don't need sports in New York to be a good town. We just a good town, period. Outside of sports, what do people say they come to Boston for? I'll wait.
Food.
Chowder.
Lobster.
Chowder.
Sightseeing, the chowder. Whole bunch of stuff. The sightseeing alone gets people to come up here. And you go right
right. All right. They come up here because they don't think there's any black people up here. That's why they come up here.
You're crazy. All right, y'all. We out of here. Tired of talking these comics, man. We out of here. Oh, man. Yeah. So we'll see y'all. The name of the show is called Box Seats. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday episode. We're going to see y'all tomorrow and definitely wrap up the week. We're going to have a full boat tomorrow. Humor Mills, where you can catch the show at. I'm Frank. That's Jay. That's Mo. That's White Chocolate. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.